Hiya, freaks and ghouls, slashers and psychopaths, scaredy cats and scaredy dogs. I'm your horror host with the most, the Headless Glen, and welcome to the Scaling Cemetery, where we dig up the stats of horrific individuals and bury the misconceptions. Okay, also if you hear anything in the background, they're currently moving some tombstones. And these are some big fucking tombstones. But might I suggest I should have tried to record at a different time, but I really don't have any other time. Anyway, in today's video we will be covering one of my favorite musicals, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. And to be fair, I've already covered this version of Todd extensively on the Versus Battle Wiki, and I even have a respect thread. Well, it's more of a respect blog, but I've already posted all my findings on him. So this video will be more of a summary, well, not really a summary, but more of putting it into words. Okay, first things first, strength. Todd is basically an athletic human. All of his information basically backs this up, because his description is being a heavy-set man who would work at like a dock or blacksmith, and those people generally are, or have to be, rather well-built so they can do, lift up timber and carry around their objects and whatnot. He's able to easily disarm Pirelli and strangle him, overpower him and whatnot, pretty casually. He's able to drag around Pirelli. He can, his hands are described as, his hands were quick, his fingers strong. It's stung a little, but not for long, during the Ballad of Sweeney Todd, Reprise 3. And that's just more, confirmation that he's likely athletic. Well, in terms of strength, not in terms of speed. He was able to easily fling Miss Lovett into the oven, or whatever. Yeah, into the oven. When she... when he figured out that she had lied about his love still being alive. And as for speed feats, he has one that can be pretty crazy if you just take it at base value and don't actually look at how. Because it says, without warning, leaping in like a lightning bolt, Todd appeared with razor in hand. Music continues. And lightning bolts are generally high hypersonic, but obviously he's not scaling to that. It's just, not wordplay, but it's it's flowery language for the most part. Unless you can interpret it that way if you would like. I personally don't think it's actually applicable, but you do you. He's able to slit the bigger woman's throat before she can, react, but it's not like a huge thing. She was already a half-crazed bigger woman, as they say, and it's not a huge feat. It's probably athletic human or PQN, but it's most likely just athletic. And then he was able to kill the judge before he could really fight back, which I guess is interesting, but it's not like a huge thing. What else? His razor feats, because that's for his attack potency. They're definitely just street level. He's able to slice through slice through flesh and throats casually, draw blood very, very easily. He's killed multiple people with, a single throat slit. And even he can be harmed by his own razor, so pretty casually, street level, it's above him in terms of like attack potency, so that's just straightforward. As for his intelligence, it's actually probably his best quality. Sweeney Todd is considered extremely smart and to be a skilled planner and to know how to keep like a low profile and, plot his revenge against Beetle and the judge. But yeah, it's just Sweeney Todd's a great planner. He's great at thinking. He's considered an artist with a knife, which just is more of a skill thing rather than intelligence, but it's good to, that's also intelligence because it is skills. And in the Pertinelli, he was able to casually he was able to manipulate the crowds to go against Pirelli, and that allowed him to, gain the trust of the Judge Turpin, so he could actually get his revenge. And he's considered like one of the best barbers, including he's even a good tooth puller. So, it's all just how it is. What else? Yeah, he's just a good manipulator. He's a good planner. He's good at using his words. He developed the trapdoor barber chair thing, theoretically, which is more to his intelligence. He's probably genius, honestly, with how he portrays his intelligence in terms of planning, in terms of creating, and in terms of manipulating. At least that's how I see it. It might be gifted. It could be gifted instead of genius. It'd be like low-level genius, in my opinion. And then we get to the weird stuff that probably isn't, actually a thing. Okay. These abilities I saw while reading the actual script, and I'm like, huh. First things first, fourth wall awareness. This is kind of weird, because he talks to the audience multiple times. And the first part when he's going over, you could argue that when he's talking about Sweeney Todd in the beginning, even though he's dressed like Sweeney Todd, he actually isn't Sweeney Todd. He's an actor talking about how Sweeney Todd is in the play. But he does address that he's in a play, and that, Sweeney Todd wouldn't want to give away how the rest of the play is. During his scene of, I believe it's where he's just slicing everybody's throats, he does have, he actually talks to the audience, turning to the audiences, he threatens all of them, if I remember correctly. Which, if you want to be that guy, you can always argue that he actually scales above his verse, because, what is it? Fictional transcendence or some shit. Which, just being able to harm the audience. Which would be, I want to say, low multiversal. No, not you. It'd be like Universal Plus, because he would be suppressing his own universe, which would be, just the universe, because it doesn't show any other, dimensions or whatnot. And then you would probably make him if you want to wink him like that, you can go ahead and wink him with the lightning feet. I personally wouldn't unless I was wanting to be stupid. But, without a head, I can be nothing but stupid. And then his other, what was his last thing? He does stare at the audience in, I believe it's at the end of Act 1. No, it was the end of Act 2. He stares at the audience after the end of the play. And then other abilities that you could possibly give him that I'm really not sure about, but I'm gonna give them to you anyway. First things first, at the beginning of the play, when they're singing about the death of Sweeney Todd literally rises out of his grave, which you could consider like a resurrection or an immortality type 4, where he can resurrect. Or, since he doesn't have the scar at the beginning of the play from what happens when he dies, you could also consider regeneration, which would be low mid, because it's like regenerating things that could be life-threatening or scarring, if I remember correctly. So you could give him resurrection, immortality type 4, regeneration, and immortality type 3 if you really wanted to. It's kind of weird because there's no consistency to it, but you could if you would. That doesn't make sense, but okay. And then he also possibly has Broadway force. It's kind of wonky. I don't know how to explain it because it probably isn't. Because in the other parts of the play, he doesn't do this. But like people dancing with him during his songs. So do with that what you will. And then, that's pretty much the end. Because at the end of the play, Todd and Miss Lovett rise out of the grave. So you could give Miss Lovett that as well. I really do love Sweeney Todd. That's probably why I could quote all this stuff. Well, some of the stuff that I quoted. But, final verdict. My boy Sweeney is athletic human and street level with his razors. Could he beat Eyeless Jack? Why do I always have to shit on him? But I feel like he actually could if he was, if there was no stealth and he saw him. Because all he does is need a single slice to Jack's throat, and it is his signature move. He will go for the throat. Plus, if a kick could knock down Eyeless Jack, I feel like even though Eyeless Jack probably has a better AP physically, Jack could hold him down. I mean, Sweeney could hold down Eyeless Jack because Eyeless Jack's strength, lifting strength, is pitiful from he doesn't have any feats for it. So you could just argue that he has normal human strength. And he also only has normal human speed, whereas Sweeney actually has, arguments for higher levels of speed, most likely athletic human. Or hypersonic. But Sweeney just needs one good strike. And if you want to argue his abilities, it can get even more crazy. But even without them, I feel like Sweeney has a good chance of defeating Jack. And I just shit on Jack every single time I can because I actually do like him. I know I mock him a lot, but honestly, I do like Eyeless Jack. It's just, he's shit sometimes. And with that all said, stay frosty, and thanks for listening.